We are live on
Finalmente.
Facebook. Finalmente. Hello.
Finalmente.
Good evening. Good
Exato.
afternoon. Good
Boa noite.
night.
Boa noite.
Very good. Hi. Hi, Mr. Roy Willoughby. How are you? Willoughby, how are you?
Willoughby. Yeah. Well, I am pretty good considering. Good to see my old colleague Dan. But yeah.
Likewise.
Yeah. And
that's so nice.
So it's good. But I didn't tell you earlier, Dan, but I became a grandfather on Wednesday.
Roy, congratulations. Well,
it's muito complicado. Yeah, I am drinking water too.
So cheers.
Cheers,
okay.
Cheers. Yes.
Leah Martin is her name.
Beautiful. I love the name. Yeah, Leah. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, congrats. You're still young, Listen, you're still young. You're way too young to be a grandfather. Really.
Yeah. Here.
Yeah,
I know it's great. It's fantastic. It's a bit complicated. She was born Wednesday night at 7 p.m. in Vancouver, but that was 3 a.m. Irish time on Thursday.
Right.
So it depends. I suppose her birthday is Wednesday in Vancouver.
Sure.
So yeah, it's great. It's
okay, my friends.
Yeah. So
we are quite late tonight. It's 7:30 in Ireland and it's 7:30 in Poland, right?
It is 7:30 indeed. Yes, in Poland. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is Teachers Talk, and every week, every Tuesday and Saturday, we bring nice people, nice teachers, clever, and new ideas, new talks. And tonight we have this special guest from Poland.
Thank you so much, guys. Yeah.
Say your name, please, Daniel.
Well, you can call me Dan Rad, just to make it easy for everybody. But my name, actually, my surname is Radziejewski. Yeah, Daniel Radziejewski. There you go.
Grammar
very
Dan.
Good. Grammar Dan.
Grammar
Let's just I go by Grammar Dan. Yeah, exactly.
He's great at grammar, but he can't speak the language. He's fantastic.
That's it. That's true. Yeah, I agree.
Irish people is always so nice. They are.
I love them. That's why I love them.
Always so nice. Yeah,
absolutely.
So friendly.
Welcome back.
Yeah. So now, Roy, we have some people arriving. Please, guys, friends, students, whatever. We started a little bit later, so just come in and just ask questions. We want to hear from you. And Roy was saying that he now is a grandfather. Is that right?
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
so
good.
Let's celebrate everyone.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Great time to have life starting. So life moves on, whatever happens. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. In the midst of everything, it's good to have some good news. And great. Yeah. So, and we have seen pictures of her. She's very mature, like me. She's very mature looking.
Oh,
perfect. Yeah.
Even though she's only 2 days old.
And can she play the guitar yet? No, she can't.
No, I sent her a song to listen to her. I sent her that lovely song about the Glendalough Saint. And so I told her father, John, to tell her that by the time I see her, she must know the chorus of the song.
Fair enough.
Well, I mean, she might. Who knows when we will be able to see her live? But
right.
Thank God for WhatsApp and
exactly.
Zoom
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
And good. But,
so then, tell us, how is life? What are you doing there?
Tell us. Yeah, you left Dublin. How long ago? Was it 4 years?
Well, indeed, right. Yeah. It was 2016. So I left, and that was, I think, August. I can't remember. Yeah, August, I think. And then I went to Saudi Arabia, right, for 8 months. Then I went to Brazil for almost a year, really. First 7 months, and then I went back to Brazil. The second time.
Sao Paulo? Was it?
Yes, I was living in Sao Paulo, of course. Just practicing my Portuguese, obviously, and teaching. And then the second time I went different places, really, because I stayed in Sao Paulo for 2 weeks. Then I went to Belo Horizonte for a month. I stayed there, traveled a bit, and then Rio, then Peru, and then I back to Europe. Yeah, so went back to Europe. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I went to Italy, but thankfully I just stayed there until December.
Right.
What
part of Italy were you in? What part of Italy?
It was Pescara. It's right in the middle.
Pescara. Sounds like a fish. Sounds like a fish.
True. it's quite close to Rome, actually. You know, it's like
All right, yeah.
2 hours by bus, really. So it was grand, yeah. It just the school was not really nice to work for, let's say. And I decided to come back here, and I think the timing was great, you know, because that's when the virus, you know, the whole situation with coronavirus started, and yeah, and now I'm kind of stuck in Poland, yeah, just like you lads, yeah. We can't travel, right? We have to stay at home. We have to wear masks outside and everything, yeah. So all we can do is just meet online, just like now.
Yeah, we have online, we have Ivan. Good evening, Ivan. How are you? Good to see you here. And Bianca Borges. Hello, Bianca and Ivan. And
hi, Bianca. Hi, Ivan.
By the time you were there, all those places, always teaching. You were always teaching.
Always teaching. Even now, I'm teaching Chinese kids online. Working for a company. So basically my bed is my office, yeah. So, you know, I sit on the bed, you know, just with my laptop, my legs, yeah, and teaching. It's not, you know, a lot of hours, just 4 hours a day, really, but it's okay, just to survive, yeah, just to make some money to survive, you know. Obviously it's not a lot, but, you know, I'm not in the worst situation, really. Bianca is my student. Is it the same Bianca though? Yeah. Bianca is my, but she's my private student. She's my private. I met her in Sao Paulo. Is it the same Bianca?
Private student.
And how was your experience in São Paulo and Belo Horizonte? Actually, I was born in Belo Horizonte, and São Paulo is like something else.
I mean, honestly, and Roy, no offense, but Brazil for me is like, it's my favorite country. I mean, if I could live there, and I was trying to stay there, you know, just trying to get like a work visa, stuff like that, but it didn't work out.
You didn't try the visa d'amor, like they find a Brazilian partner. No.
Well, actually, I was in a relationship there. You know, obviously it was a bit. Yeah. I had a girlfriend there, but we split up because I had to go back to Europe after 6 months, and so we had this. What is this type of kind of estável? What was that?
União estável.
União estável, exatamente. Sim. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'll be speaking English. Yeah. Estável. It's like stable relationship. Yeah, like a stable union, really. Yeah.
We have Daniela. We have Paula, Lydia.
Yes,
hi, Paula.
Yes.
Hi, Paula,
Bianca, Daniela, Paula. Yes.
Are these all your students, Dan? Are they? Are
no,
they all your students?
Yeah. Only Bianca.
Only Bianca. All
Bianca.
Our students.
Bianca, tell us. Bianca, tell us, is Dan a good teacher?
No, Bianca, you better. If it's, I can see the profile pic, but I'm pretty sure it's the same Bianca because it's the same surname. But anyway, yeah. So I met Bianca in Sao Paulo, and I was teaching her in the company.
And Daniel was Gaudier's teacher. So Roy was my teacher, and Daniel was Gaudier's.
There you go. There you go.
We're all connected. Gaudier, he just when I told him, Gaudier, you should join us today because Dan is here, and he says he was my favorite teacher.
Look what Bianca wrote. Yes, he is. Yes, and
yes, he is.
Bianca, thank you so much.
Obrigado.
Obrigado.
Daniel says obrigado.
Exatamente. Obrigado, Bianca.
And how was your experience in Belo Horizonte?
I loved it. I actually I went to Belo Horizonte, so it was my second time. I basically booked an Airbnb. Yeah, so I spent a lot of time, by the swimming pool. I was actually just relaxing there, writing my book, and I loved it. Just the BH, as people say, right?
Exactly.
It's very hilly, up and down. Like when you walk, like it's like climbing mountains, really. So it was really tiring. But obviously I traveled a bit, like Ouro Preto, and I think there's this place Inhotim. Is it Inhotim? Inhotim. There you go, Inhotim, and I loved it. Yeah, beautiful. So yes, so I went to a few places, and I mean Brazil. I love Brazil. The food everywhere, obviously. Pão de queijo, and people. So
I can get pão de queijo in outside our school if I had a school, but sadly, as you know,
it's not the same. But you have to go to Belo Horizonte.
I had a beautiful student called Camila, and her boyfriend used to sell Mateus, I think his name was, used to sell pão de queijo outside the English studio.
Right.
Sadly, the English studio closed 2 weeks after the shutdown, and we are now in liquidation. So even if you came back to Dublin, you wouldn't have your former school to go back to teach in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I decided not to return to Dublin because the rent is so expensive, it's so high, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Then I can't imagine just teaching and probably making the same money, but obviously spending much more on rent and food and everything else. So I decided to just travel elsewhere. Like now I'm in Poland, but I don't really stay here. I would like to travel again to another country. I don't know where. Yeah, it just depends on the offers, but we'll see. And at the moment, I'm not even planning anything. Obviously, nobody is because we don't even know when it's gonna end. Yeah.
How long were you living in Dublin for? Like how
11
long?
years. Well, 6 years in Carlo. Carlo is like a no. 11 years in total. But first, like five and a half years in Carlo first. Like it's a town, yeah. Obviously, and then I moved to Dublin for another, 5 or 6 years, really. So,
all right.
But then,
were you teaching in ELI in Carlo, English language? Ireland, is it?
That's correct. Yes, that's yes, but only for 2 summers. When I arrived, it was like a summer conference. Do you know them? Yeah, you like Ruth Coffee, right?
The reason I know them is there is another ELI are the initials, but there is another school. There is another school in Dublin called ELI.
Oh, I see.
And and that's where actually Fernanda knows a mutual friend of ours, Thais, and she was studying there. So,
right, okay.
So when I was trying to find it on the internet, there were 2 ELIs. One is English Language Institute, and one was English Language Ireland, which is, I think, the Carlo one. Is that right?
That's correct. Ireland. Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
But the other one is beside the canal, But
sorry, we are still living this crazy time zone, having this quarantine. And tonight, Roy is gonna go for a gig. Is that right, Roy?
Yeah. Well, we have every 2 weeks we have been having a little socially distant music session on the street where we live, and we are starting at 8. So I will have to go in about 3 or 4 minutes, I think, for that. But it's a bit of fun, and I have an amplifier that will reach the other end of the street, and
you can bring the picture for the next.
I can
talk. Because I saw the picture from the other day.
From the last time, out on the street. Yeah.
This is important. Keep people together in a way, and every Thursday they are clapping, noising like cameras, right?
For the people on the front line, the medical people. It's important to show our appreciation for them. My son is a doctor, Dan, and he is working in Beaumont Hospital, and they are one of the busiest with the COVID, and he is in the front line. So and his new wife, he got married in September. His new wife is a pharmacist, and she is working 3 days in Connolly Hospital in Blanchardstown. So they're both busy with it, and we hope they stay healthy.
Exactly. Well, fingers crossed.
They're very careful to keep more than 3 or 4 meters from us every time we talk to them. They would be worried about us.
I want to say hi to Gilberto Vessoni. Hi, Gilberto. Gilberto is from São Paulo.
Gilberto.
Gilberto.
Como vai você, Gilberto?
Como vai você, Gilberto? Please.
Gilberto, say hello to Sampa for me, please. I miss São Paulo so much. So much.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And by the time you were there, Dan, so what's the best memory you have from the time you work together with this special man beside you? Honestly, the best memory you have from the English studio from your time?
It's difficult because obviously, we shared, basically the same job, like the same teacher's room, right? Every day for I don't know how many years now, right? But
I started in 2000 and I have to get this right now, 2014.
Right. Okay. I started in 12. Okay.
So you were there for 2 years. So I remember yourself and Aga were the two. Was there another Polish people there?
The
Probably,
best
but I
grammar
can't remember.
teachers, Polish.
Yeah.
Yes. They had the
Okay,
best
all right.
grammar teachers.
Aga, yes, and I'm still in touch with
Dobrze.
Aga. Yeah.
Bardzo dobrze.
Bardzo dobrze. Bardzo
Yeah.
dobrze.
No, that's probably I am good. But yeah, can you say that? He's a bardzo dobrze teacher, no? Yeah.
Bardzo dobrze. Yeah, it's very good, teacher. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it means, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, my favorite memories were with Roy. We didn't really share like just like memories. So obviously here we only stayed together in the same classroom probably when there was some kind of a meeting with students. So Roy would play his guitar, right, and stuff like that. Or some drinks out, right. It didn't happen very often though. Yeah, but we were basically teaching. Oh my god, like I was like the classrooms were really like far away, like I remember mine, I remember Roy's too. So I wouldn't see him a lot, only just in passing, in the teachers room, really. But of course
you never came to our music sessions, did you, and sang a Polish song? I think
he did. Yes, he was here.
I know Fernanda did. I know. Yeah. But
still here.
And
I did.
you didn't play the guitar or the piano, did you?
No. I actually did. I took. Not very well, obviously, but I had an electric guitar.
I remember. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
And I actually did once. But yes.
Because as well as teaching Fernanda, and of course I've said it before, I taught Fernanda so well that now she is a teacher herself. But exactly. I met her in the class and at the music session. But then Gaudier, her son, was a brilliant guitarist, and he came to the music sessions many times, and he in fact has joined us on Teachers Talk and played a tune for us from Sao Paulo, and hopefully he will do it again, and hopefully he will come to Dublin and when everything is finished and play again.
He will definitely.
That would be fantastic. Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry, but I better go and prepare for my gig.
Yeah.
So, Jan, great to see you.
Great to see you.
Hopefully we can do this again sometime, But
beautiful, yeah. I have a lot of time, so let's do it.
If Ivan has said hello, Bianca, Paula, Daniela, Bianca. Oh, Bianca, it's two Bianca. Oh, it's the same Bianca. And Fernanda. Oh, she's here already. Yeah.
Thank you, Roy. See you soon.
Okay.
Where's my hand?
Okay, bye.
We'll keep this conversation, me and Dan here, which will be a pleasure.
Okay. See you. Bye.
Bye, Roy. Bye. We have more.
Ivan. Hello, Ivan. How are you?
Hi, Ivan is always there. He's always here with us. It's very nice to have him here. I think he's living in. Ciao, Paula. Ciao,
Paula.
Say hi to Sampa. Kisses to Sampa.
Yeah, kisses to Sampa.
Is from São Paulo as well.
Paulistanas, like Corintiana or what? Yeah,
She's
I don't know.
Yeah.
Really? Why Corinthians? No, I'm kidding. I'm not a Corintiano.
Gilberto is not Corinthians.
No, probably
Gilberto is
Palmeiras, yeah. Why Palmeiras?
Gilberto is São Paulino, I guess.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Gilberto, qual é o seu time? Gilberto, tell us, share. And yes, so you just mentioned shortly about your book. By the time you were in Belo Horizonte, you just finished your book.
Well, finished, yes. I was kind of finishing, then I finished it in Poland, yes. And now it's got released last year, because I've written now like 5 books, 3 are published already.
Jesus, really?
And, yeah. So now actually, I have something to tell you. You don't know that. Now I'm finishing another book, and it's my longest book. It's a horror book, and it takes place in Sao Paulo. And that's why I love Sao Paulo so much, really, and I'm not joking.
Yeah, it's a great place.
And of course, I traveled around Sao Paulo. I worked for different companies, so I had to travel. By metro, buses, right? Sometimes Uber. So I know I think I know Sao Paulo quite well. So I decided to. I had a story in my head, and I was like, I think Sao Paulo would be the best place, where I could put the story really. And so the story is finished. The book is finished. It's quite long. It's about 500 pages, but I'm kind of correcting it now, and I hope to probably send it to the publisher in about 2 months. But then if everything goes well, it's going to be out in Poland probably around November. But I feel next year I would like to get it translated into English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Yeah, so let's see, fingers crossed. So that it could go international, hopefully.
Oh yes, I can help if you like. If you need any help, can I share my? Because I just wrote a biography last year.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. By the time I was in Brazil, I did this research it's a biography of a priest.
Oh, right, okay.
It was a very nice experience, and I am just working on my second story anyway. So when we start, it's difficult to stop, isn't it?
Of course, yeah, absolutely, yeah. But like in this case, it's not my decision, because it's the publisher who will take care of the translations. Yeah, so we have obviously some Brazilian translators in Poland, or English, or Spanish, whatever. So, but still, I'm looking forward to it, because I think it's a great story. It's a horror book, and again,
are they all connected, or no? Each of them has one different story, like the books.
Oh, the books? No. Like there are 5 separate books, but this one that I finished now is obviously so like a one long story. Yes, and a lot of my friends or the characters in the book are my friends, real people, really. Obviously, with different lives and everything, but it's easier to describe people when you know them. Yeah. So yeah, and that's it. But that's why, as I said, Sao Paulo is my favorite. And I'm not saying this because there are Brazilians watching me here, but Brazil is my favorite country. Of course, I practice my Portuguese, and I think I improved a lot in Sao Paulo. And of course the food, the people. So I had a girlfriend there as well. So I felt really happy. I like, and the weather, of course, apart from the rain, this kind of lashing rain sometimes. Yeah.
And my feeling is the rain there, it's worse than in Dublin, because
of course,
you get wet so easily, you get soaked. And here,
that's it. It's not about being wet. Like I remember, coming to work completely wet, like straight from the shower. Because obviously the streets become rivers. So it's quite tough. But I got used to it. And Bianca, if she's still watching, she knows. Sometimes I would arrive to her company completely wet. But still, I enjoyed it. Like Sao Paulo, like if you could get me, guys, whoever's watching, if you could get me a visa to Sao Paulo tomorrow, I'm flying tomorrow and I'm staying there. And everybody says like, why then? Like, no, I mean, you European, you should be happy here in Europe. I'm not. Like, maybe I'm a Latino, my blood is, Latin, I don't know.
Definitely.
But I absolutely, for me, Sao Paulo is, and of course I went to Rio and, a few places, and I love them too. Rio is beautiful. It's mind blowing. It's more beautiful than Sao Paulo, but it's kind of interesting because like, from the outside, Sao Paulo is very ugly. Yeah. It's like a lot of concrete buildings and everything. But, when you stay in it and you feel the atmosphere, the vibe, you love it. I mean, it's like a love or hate city. Yeah. Either you love it or you hate it. And I absolutely love it. And I miss it so much. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to cry now, because I lived there I was living there before I traveled to Dublin, before I moved to Dublin with my son. And it's just something else. I was actually talking to a friend this afternoon. I was telling her, I'm here, because I want to use the language. It's important because I'm spending and investing so much time and money studying. And you know that because you just taught me like 2 years ago, remember?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I remember.
Yes, and we did some private classes. And I need to. It's too much time and money. Full stop. So absolutely. I want to stay here for a while to get like more and more. And I was telling to my friends, I won't die here. Definitely, I want to go back.
Sorry, but Bianca just wrote "Vai Corinthians." Bianca, Vai
Corinthians. Bianca. Yes, we were showing this here. Vai Corinthians. Yes.
Vai Corinthians. So
I definitely want to. I don't want to die in Dublin.
No, of course,
yeah. But it's quite okay spending the time. We have Eduardo Beltramelli. Good evening, Eduardo.
Good evening.
Where are you? Come on, guys, share your places. Where are you watching us? Where are you now? Are you in Brazil? Are you in
possibly Poland? In Brazil?
Yes.
Yeah.
where
No, you never know. You never know. Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
then,
I still have some phrases, I remember just traveling by metro in Sao Paulo. It's always like, sometimes even at night, disembarque per la lado direito do train. It's like, oh my God,
yes.
it's like all those things, It's just, it's still with me, like, of course, like, oh boy. Oh man, come on. And by the way, I think, I've traveled, like I've been to, all the continents really, yeah. But I think Sao Paulo has one of the best metro systems I've seen in my life, yeah. I think metro in Sao Paulo is very clean. It's usually on time. I loved it, and I found it so easy to really. I mean, apart from the red line, yeah, when you have Barra Funda and all those, yeah, this is
Corinthians, Itaquera, and Barra Funda.
Ah. Yes, yeah, exactly. So that was fun.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but I would say I would disagree
Okay.
because actually the service doesn't go to every
I
place.
know. But
It's
like
a
for me,
short, like in 40 years time, the
I understand
metro subway was built at the end of the 1970s, but
yes,
in 40 years time,
I
it
understand.
doesn't attend to all the city,
Yeah.
and this is just unbelievable because Mexico, for example, they started to build at the same time that we did. And in Mexico, you can go everywhere by metro. And in Brazil, in São Paulo, especially in São Paulo, you can't. So it's just unbelievable.
I know what you mean. But like, when I was there and traveling, they were still building some stations like Villa Sonia, I remember, and there was
now they have all the colors.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
But again, for me, it was very easy. I mean, metro is fast. Like obviously, it's faster than the bus, for example.
Definitely, yes. It is clean. You are right, and
it's clean.
Many...
And it's quite funny because like this is what I felt, and you might be surprised, but I felt really, really safe in Sao Paulo. Everybody knew I was a gringo. A lot of Brazilian friends had told me down, don't go to Sao Paulo, don't stay there, it's dangerous, da da da. But people don't realize that I had traveled to much more dangerous places than Sao Paulo, and Sao Paulo actually I found it safe. Obviously, I was living in Bella Vista, which is in the Santa, and it's safe.
Wonderful place. Wonderful
but at the same time, I was traveling to all the kind of crazy places, even close to Cracolândia and all those, just so, and usually alone, never at night, but in the evening as well. I would come back home in the evening. Everybody knew I was a gringo, obviously looking at me, but everybody was super nice. I never felt any danger in Sao Paulo, really, so I had a great experience, and I wish I could go back and live there, really, I mean, I would be very happy. Yeah.
Let's ask to the universe, we just
exactly.
send the message, just keep sending the message. And yes, I am very lucky because I really know Brazil. I am okay. And the first time I put my feet outside the country, I was almost 40.
Right.
Or over than 40, whatever. So I really know Brazil, and I always felt really safe in Rio de Janeiro because it's not a matter of knowing the country. I actually lived in Rio de Janeiro, Brasília, Curitiba, São Paulo, Belo Horizonte. So I know everywhere, and I traveled a lot. So
great.
I see people just is exaggerating like this. Oh, it's not safe, it's dangerous, and blah blah blah.
No. But listen, yeah, it's I think it's a matter of being at the wrong place at the wrong time. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And you have to be reasonable. Look around. Think. Don't go into crazy places at night alone, especially, right? And sometimes you can be just unlucky. Yeah, but it's life is a lottery, really. Like if you stay at home just being afraid of traveling, then you will never travel to see places. Yeah, so that's what I think. And not the only, but one of the things that I miss, and one of the things from Sao Paulo that I remember and I absolutely loved, that Belo Horizonte never had, is Itubaína. I drank so much Itubaína that is just crazy.
I tell you, you should try next time. Hopefully, we will be there hopefully we can be there together. You have to try mate couro.
Okay, no, never tried it. No, okay.
It's the best drink ever. You
Fair
can
enough.
find this only in Belo Horizonte and in Minas Gerais. You
Okay.
go find mate couro in just there, and it's just fantastic. It's
Okay.
amazing. Yeah.
Good.
Itubaína, it's quite. I don't really like it.
It's sweet. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a lot of people say it's sweeter than Guarana. Guarana is okay, yeah, but I really prefer Itubaína, you know. And when I went to Belo Horizonte, I went to supermarkets like, where's my Itubaína? I couldn't find it, you know, only Guarana.
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on? You know?
Couro, Dan.
Okay, next time. I didn't know about that. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's wonderful.
So,
yeah. So tell me, let's just go back to this teacher's talk. In a sense, of course, this is everything. We don't have a script. We just have this conversation. Last Tuesday, I had 2 Brazilian friends talking about the bank holiday, because we had a bank holiday last Tuesday. It was 21st. Tiradentes is a guy who lived in Minas Gerais, and he was somebody that fought from Brazilian independence. So anyway, what do you see when you are teaching, especially Brazilians? What do you see as the worst part of learning? What do you see the worst difficulty?
I think pronunciation is probably one of the most difficult things for Brazilians to, you know, obviously I can understand them. And again, the pronunciation is decent, let's say, but you know, those sounds like, you know, Facebooky, some thingy, all those kind of diphthongs, and or when you have a word starting with an R, you know, so it's r, not h, like in Portuguese, so like, you know, a lot of Brazilians would say, you know, talking about the city of Rome in Italy, they'll say home, well, like casa, but it's not casa, it's Rome, not home. So I think pronunciation and some grammar, of course, as well, some grammar differences between English and Portuguese, even though you kind of tend to have similar tenses and structures in Portuguese, it's still not exactly the same. I still have kind of this problem with the Portuguese present perfect, like, you know, eu tenho falado, you know, português ultimamente, para mim é muito difícil, cara, né? Então, não, ok, inglês.
Can you speak in Portuguese to these people? Would you mind?
Não, sem problema, mas estou esquecendo muito porque a gente aqui na Polônia não fala português, né? E não dá para praticar, então falo inglês.
Eu tenho certeza que eles vão adorar te ouvir falando em português. Éder Gomes. Hello, Éder Gomes. How are you? Oi, Éder.
Éder Gomes. Éder Gomes, sim, meu Éder. Sim, também. Nossa Senhora! Então, inglês, por favor. Porque se a gente tem que praticar inglês também, né? Então, vamos falar inglês. Mas adoro português. Sim. Então.
Porque quando... Okay, let's move on. Sometimes when I'm here with Roy, I still make silly mistakes, you know. Paula is saying, I am... Hello,
Ederzinho.
Ederzinho, yes, he knows. Yes. Entendo melhor em português, Paula is saying, yes.
Paula. And Eder actually works together with Bianca. So, yes, they're in the same company, and I taught them together. And it's crazy because I never met them. No, I met Eder in Dublin. I never met Bianca in Dublin because she's never been to Dublin. But the world is small, really, you know. So we met in Sao Paulo.
So I still do silly mistakes, as I was saying. And once, like at the very beginning, a friend of mine just sent me a message, and she says, Fernanda, please stop this guy, you know, he's so annoying. He just keeps correcting you. He's not okay. He's okay. He's just trying to help, you know. And she said, it's not good for you. I don't, Dan, I don't really, of course,
it depends. It depends on the context. I mean, if we're
in a place like this, as I
then
would,
it's okay.
no, that's what, this is exactly
that's the
her
opposite
point, because I am here, and as a teacher, because this is teacher's talk and so on, and she was saying this just discreditates you in some way, I don't have this feeling. I don't have this feeling. I think it's good because at least I am doing something, as I'm doing this. I can do this, and I want to show to these people that are here with us, we can do it. Doesn't matter if we still make mistakes.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, making mistakes, like I always tell people, it's a natural process of learning, and you shouldn't be afraid of making mistakes. That's a mistake when you're afraid of making mistakes. When you're afraid of talking just because you might make a mistake, I think it's a big mistake, really. I mean, I'm quite open-minded. Again, I make a lot of mistakes speaking Portuguese, but this is the only way to communicate. Obviously, a lot of people in Brazil don't speak English well. So as you know, like when I was living in Dublin, I spoke some Portuguese. But the 6 months in Sao Paulo, it just meu português melhorou para cá, sim, né? Caramba, né?
Yeah.
And you have to go out and talk. It's just mistakes, make mistake. Then if somebody corrects you, you remember, And I think this is the best way of learning when you actually. That's why a lot of people go to Dublin to study, because everybody speaks English. I mean, in theory, because you have a lot of Brazilians and Spanish speakers, but it's an English-speaking country. And for me, going to Brazil, and just listening to all the sotakis, the accents and everything. And this was the best lesson, because you learn in the streets. Like I remember, like my first month was difficult. I mean, I thought I had known Portuguese, and I knew a lot of things, but no. I mean, I went out into the streets and started talking to people, asking them questions, and when they started talking, I just like, what's going on? I just can't understand, After 2 months, it was much better. After 3-4 months, I was, very confident, So I think, this is the mistake that people make, that they're afraid of talking, really, And again, I don't really think that if you're learning from books, from applications, it's always great. Don't get me wrong. The more, the better. But I think still, the best experience is when you actually can travel to another country, even for 2 or 3 months. You will notice how fast you're improving.
Yeah, definitely.
This is, I think, the best. Yeah, from yourself, like your experience, obviously, right? I mean, you stayed in Dublin.
And plus, and older you get, the worse it is, of course, because it doesn't works at the same way as before, and this is fact. But this doesn't stop me.
No, I mean,
doing things and studying and learning and also teaching, because I also do online teaching.
Perfect.
I have some students, I have some friends, I'm teaching my nephew, and I just want to use the language, full stop. And
exactly,
as much I can be here, it's wonderful. And it's wonderful. And the judgment, it's not inside, like, it's not in me, it's in somebody else. It's
right.
Oh, I don't care. It's just
no, I know what you mean.
I do care, but I want to say something else about this, because of that's where I'm going. Like, I'm just making a point here. As later you start, as worse it will be, because I have some fossilized mistakes. It's difficult to change, and this is because my learning at the beginning was not so good, and we know the grammar. It's very hard to find a good grammar teacher, Dan. It's really hard. My best grammar teachers, they weren't English native speakers. And one of them was Aga. Aga was just perfect.
Exactly. Yeah, she was amazing.
She knew, like, she was like a computer. She had everything. She had
in her head,
answers. You know, it's just amazing. And the Russian, what's her name? I don't remember her name.
Irina.
Very good. Yes. Sorry,
Irina.
it's just my old brain.
No,
the best way of learning is teaching. Definitely, Eder.
Yes, Eder. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So I felt like I need answers, you know, because when you make a mistake and you ask to your teacher, what's the problem? And the teacher just come with an answer like, oh, this doesn't sound okay. I hate this answer.
Yes, I know.
Sound natural. How can I know what's natural and what's not natural? Because I don't have the experience.
Sure.
This is not an answer to give to a student, you know. And I had these answers many times. Like, this doesn't sound really natural. I was just, I want to kill you. Like, give me the answer.
Yeah. Well, obviously, you know, if somebody says something doesn't sound natural, they should provide an answer. Yeah. Like maybe try using this or that phrase. Yeah. And I always kind of try to do it. You know, if you just say, no, this is wrong, or just, you know, it's not natural without giving any answers, it just doesn't make sense. You know, you just, you're not really credible. But, well, yeah, as I said, you know, don't stop speaking whatever language you're learning, you know, whether, you know, as I said, like in Portuguese, like I made mistakes, but then later I knew I had improved a lot, you know, and after 6 months I was really happy, you know, with all the Portuguese I had learned. And the same, you know, with English. Again, pronunciation is the key for Brazilians, I think. Speaking is the most important, you know, skill, because you know, communicate, right?
Yeah.
And again, do as much as you can. If you can't afford to travel to, let's say, Ireland or England or the States, you know, just try to get somebody, you know, in Sao Paulo, wherever you live, you know, and talk, you know, even like, you know, between friends, you know, some English conversations. And it doesn't matter whether you're making mistakes or not. It just, at least you're activating this part of the brain, you know, just used for English, and, you know, like you're doing something, you know, that's what I kind of think. You know, learning another language is not easy, because it depends actually on what language you're learning. If it's quite close to your native language, then it's fine. Like, you know, I mean, I've always found, I don't know why it's crazy, I've always found Spanish quite difficult, you know, and I've never really liked Spanish that much. Everybody says that, but it's so similar to Portuguese. Yes, but it's still a bit of, well, different vocabulary, you know, the pronunciation, everything. So I always kind of found Portuguese more romantic and beautiful and whatever. And the same with Italian. For me, Italian.
French, it's romantic. It's beautiful.
It's true. It's true. Yes. And Italian is also beautiful, but
to Adriana Barreta. Hello, Adriana.
Adriana, hello.
Adriana, how are you? Como vai você? Yeah, so, but I feel like my feeling is, yes, don't be shy, just go and jump. And
but, you know, you can't force everybody to talk, obviously, because, you know, people have their own personalities. A lot of people are shy, by nature. So, you know, there are other ways of learning, but I think, you know, it's better to talk without thinking, but making mistakes, than stopping every sentence, you know, analyzing your next sentence, you know, and thinking about grammar, blah blah blah, because you know, you want your conversation to be fluent, right? Or quite fluent anyway. Antão, okay. Yes. Hello, my friend.
Portuguese speaker. Olá, Antônio.
Okay, so Antônio, yes,
Antônio é de Angola. He's from Angola.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Nice one.
He's my student as well. Yeah.
See, the world is small. We only have students here. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I mean, really. You know, like for me, it's all about speaking. There's another teacher that is super good. He has a page. It's called English with Terry, and in his opinion, and he's Irish, and I love him. He is a great guy. and a great teacher. And he says, in his opinion, listening is the most important skill to practice first, because when somebody talks to you, you have to understand them first to reply. Yeah. If you can't understand, then what can you say? Even if you know some words in English, let's say, I mean, if you don't understand what somebody's asking you, then you just you might give a wrong answer. So in his opinion, first listening, then speaking. Yeah. I'm not sure about that. I mean, I don't want to say he's wrong. Probably not. It's his experience, and he's got a lot of experience. But again, I always focused on speaking. Yeah, some pronunciation, like obviously pronunciation as well. In the classroom. But I don't really correct. I don't. I love grammar and I love teaching, but a lot of people expect me to correct them all the time, and I just don't like it. When I'm outside, like just drinking a beer with somebody, and we're just having a normal conversation. I don't really pay attention to their mistakes. I mean, as long as I can understand everything.
The message is there. It's more important than the grammar mistakes.
Absolutely.
I would tell you. Do you have any children?
No, I don't. No.
Yeah. So I do. My son, and I like to tell this to when I'm teaching. I always tell this story. It's a true story about my son, because I was a young mother, quite immature, quite not prepared to be a mother, as majority of women in Brazil.
Yeah.
And when he was born, I was working, doing lots of stuff the way I am. I am still the same. I love being busy. I love doing things and so on. And the process, the language acquisition, it's like first firstly, we just listen, and we spend 2 years listening. We don't remember, and I always ask them, do you remember when you were a baby? The first word you say, no, how come you don't? You should remember the first word you say.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
So, and after this time, we start speaking. After this time, we just go to school when we are 6, 4, 7 years. We start to recognize the symbols and make the symbols become letters.
Exactly.
And then we start to write. And finally, we can read and understand the message. This brings us to the lack of education in Brazil. This is another subject. Going back to my maternity. My son, the first word he spoke, it wasn't mom. He never calls me mom. This was so frustrating. He always called me Segunda, Fernanda, Segunda.
Oh, Segunda.
Everybody else called me Fernanda. Fernanda, blah, blah, blah. Fernanda, blah, blah, blah. Fernanda, blah, blah, blah. And then...
yeah, we have a question from Eder, but finish up and then we can address it.
I was saying, nobody calls me mamãe. How can he say my name? Because he doesn't know who is mamãe. Mamãe just doesn't. But he always firstly he spoke papai firstly.
Mhm.
Then he starts to speak mamãe. This was
Sure.
and this experience made me believe and agree with Terry, because definitely we need to get our ears
Yes,
used to the language.
exactly. Yeah.
What's Eder saying? Don't you think that listening really shows the level that you are in a language?
That's a good one.
Really?
I don't know. I actually don't know, and I don't think so because you have four skills, the main skills. Yes, we have writing. Oh, sorry, my camera. Oh, okay, come on,
Oh,
camera.
you are there, yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So you have writing, speaking, listening, and reading. And it depends on how much you've practiced. One skill, because you can be really, really good at listening, and it could be really advanced. But when it comes to talking, then you might still be making a lot of mistakes. So again, it might show the level of your listening skills, especially when you're just taking an exam, for example, some IELTS or whatever, but not necessarily the rest of the skills. So that's kind of my opinion. Obviously, nobody has to agree with me, but language is like, I don't know, just going to the gym, and just working on
It's
different
more
muscles. It's like different skills, and you have to train all of it to become fluent, right, or confident. So that's, but again, all of them are equally important, but for me, of course, listening and speaking are the most important, first, and then you can focus more on reading and writing, because like we spend most of the time communicating with people in the streets, at home, and so I think speaking and listening are the ones that are probably the most important in learning language.
Yes, and language is more than only words.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We are like expression.
Yes, body language and everything. Sure.
So we don't use only. This is not. So I think, of course, listening is important, especially because you need to understand the message to develop a conversation, of course.
Yeah.
But I think because when you speak, you use the vocabulary that you know. Yes, that's true, definitely. But
absolutely,
the words coming from someone else. Yeah, so that's why we need to practice more and more.
Absolutely, yeah.
And Antonio is saying, good subject you were talking, thanks for that. I think I'm still having a lot of mistakes in English. It's different experience from that I had in Italy. After a month, I was able to communicate with people there. Oh, I see, because he speaks Portuguese.
Sure, exactly. And like even though I speak Portuguese as well, obviously not fluently, but I feel quite confident in Portuguese. I didn't like Italian. I mean, it sounds nice. I just couldn't. I don't really think that Italian is, excuse me, similar to. I mean, it is similar, but not really similar. Obviously, Spanish is probably the closest. I would say that Italian is something between French and Spanish, maybe. Is beautiful. The way they talk is nice. It sounds nice, but I just couldn't. I spent not a lot, like 3 months there. And I just wasn't motivated to learn because all I hear was allora, and stuff like that. So I said no, I'm not going to learn another language. I'd rather focus on, let's say, improving my Portuguese still, or even learning some Spanish than Italian from scratch.
So how many languages do you speak?
I only speak English and Polish and some Portuguese. And obviously, I can, when somebody speaks to me in Spanish, I can understand and I can reply in basic Spanish or Portuguese, obviously. And I did German in the past for 7 years. So, when I was like a teenager, I could communicate in German a bit, but I never liked this language. So, obviously, I don't speak it anymore. And that's it. But, for me, I don't want to learn any other languages. Maybe it might sound bad, from a teacher. But for me, 3 is enough. I really want to focus on Portuguese just to, master it to maybe not to perfection, but to fluency one day if I have a chance.
But Portuguese from Brazil, not Portuguese from Portugal. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
It's just obvious, yeah. For me,
this is a
like
big, how can I say, injustiça?
Yes, injustice, yeah.
We don't speak Portuguese, we speak Brazilian.
Exactly, yeah.
And this is so unfair. I feel so, it's just, I don't believe we didn't. I think the Brazilian government should, establish from now on, the name of this language is Brazilian.
Well, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because it just, it derives from Portuguese.
It can be done. If you have the desire, you just go there.
Fine.
That's the way it works.
Fair enough, yeah.
Yeah.
But still, if I had to choose, it's always Brazilian and Portuguese all the way. It's my love, yeah. It's my linguistic love, right?
Lovely.
Yeah. Really, honestly, it's a beautiful language, and I love it. Yeah, sure.
I guess people are delighted with this
conversation, right?
Feliz, of course.
Okay,
Brasileiros felizes ouvindo você falar assim.
Yeah. Que fofo, que fofinhos, yeah. Well, I can't actually see anything. I can only see the live chat here, live comments, right? But I obviously can see it.
Yeah. I don't know who is here, but I know that there are 5 people now.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Yeah, great.
Very good, yeah.
But that's it. Yeah, like I think when it comes to studying, I don't think I've got anything else to say. Again, as I said, just don't be afraid of using the new language. Just practice with mistakes. And just talk.
Remember this woman here? She's still making mistakes, and she's here. Happy, smiling, and just yeah.
It really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like as long as you're understood, then this is what matters. I don't really care if you say something like he instead of she, or or you mix up the tense or whatever. I mean, if I understand you, especially not like in a school environment, but outside in a normal conversation, then it's absolutely fine. Yeah. So
I want to show you. Let me see, because Eder mentioned, and I always use this to my students as well. And I'm pretty sure that you can understand this. When I was in Brazil teaching there, how can I share this? No, not here. Share screen. Okay. Share screen. Here we are. Okay, so then have a look. I don't know if you know this.
Can you see? Yeah, well, now it's disappeared. Yeah.
Aprendizado.
Yes, okay.
Como é que a gente aprende? Já viu isso? Do you know this?
Is the like a learning pyramid, right? Or is it like
exactly.
Yeah, so yes, I've seen it before, like in English, like it was a long time ago. Yeah, so first you have to teach others, right? No, this is the bottom, yeah? I can't see everything. Oh, I can see to read, yeah? Ler, escutar, like listen, ver, to see. I can't see the yellow one, what's written there.
Ver, escutar.
Okay, there you go.
And here. So if you can put here, if you can use some levels here at the very bottom, we can say ensinar os outros. So
yes, teach others, yeah.
And then practice. So you learn 80% when you are practicing. So don't be afraid of making mistakes.
Exactly.
Practice.
Exactly.
And then you learn 70% of a subject when you are talking, when you are asking questions repeating, debating, and so on. 50% you learn when you are watching and listening, like going to YouTube channel, going to Netflix. Hello, Paula Sartori. Boa noite. Boa noite, Paula Sartori. We learn 30% when we are watching. It's a passive learning.
Yes, it is. Yeah, just watching. Yeah, and listening.
So 20% when we are listening. And sadly enough for both of us, because we are writers, we learn just 10% when we are reading, unfortunately.
Sure, but again, reading is super difficult, especially super important and difficult. Difficult because obviously when you read like prose, like a normal book, let's say fiction, it's quite difficult to understand the language sometimes, because there's a lot of difficult vocabulary, but at the same time you can learn a lot of vocab,
but at the end of the day, if you have to consider whatever process of learning, you should take this information. That's my point. Like, of course, I'm just, and this is a study done in, I don't remember the name of the guy, but this is very famous and people are using this a lot recently. And this is useful because if you just say, okay, I don't speak because I don't want to make mistakes and I don't feel comfortable, whatever. You have to practice. You learn 80% when you are practicing. How do you practice language? Speaking.
Yes, true. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, great, amazing.
Okay, my friend. So it was so nice to have you here for many reasons.
and we've been here for an hour. Yeah, so fantastic. And I'd love to repeat it one day. Why not? So we can get online again. And
definitely we'll have you back here. And we will bring a Portuguese teacher to have a conversation. What do you think?
Absolutely. Vamos. Yeah.
Demorou.
Exactly, exatamente. Demorou, caramba. Então vamos fazê-lo, sim?
Muito obrigada.
Perfeito. So, thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for watching, whoever's here still.
Yes, thank you, Antônia, Paula, Éder, Antão, Paula, minha querida amiga Éder, yes, everybody, Gilberto, que não deixou nenhuma mensagem. Esse vídeo vai ficar disponível no YouTube, no Facebook, sorry. A gente teve um problema hoje, não conseguimos transmitir pelo YouTube, por isso que demorou tão tarde, demorou tanto para começar, atrasou um pouquinho o nosso horário, mas ok, né? Tá todo mundo aqui na rede.
Sim, um pouquinho, 30 minutos só, né? Mas um pouquinho. Ai, brasileiros!
30 minutos.
Estou atrasado. Sim.
Boa noite, Daniela, Alexandra. Thank you.
Ai, Daniela. Boa noite.
E é isso, meu povo amado Brasil, eu te amo. Eu te amo, meu Brasil, eu te amo. Dan, thank you very much.
Brasil, Sampa, eu te amo também. Listen, guys, thank you very much, for watching. Thanks so much. And again, I hope to see you soon. Right now, we're all stuck at home. Guys, please stay safe, stay at home, wear masks, okay? And I hope you're all healthy. And yes, I hope to see you all guys soon, right? Online here, and we can have another teacher's talk, right?
And please go to Grammar Dan Facebook page.
Thank you, and Instagram as well. Yeah, perfect. Yes, please, yes. And
where did all these things you share come from, Dan?
Just from other
many nice things.
Thank you very much. But again, I unfortunately in the past I used to make a lot of stuff like materials, just to share. Now I don't. I'm okay, sometimes too lazy, sometimes I just don't have enough time. So I usually share, posts from other pages, right? And I unfortunately I don't really spend as much time as I would like to, on Grammar now these days.
Maria Silva Santos, beijo, minha querida.
Maria.
Cuba. Hi, Fer. Hi, Maria. Um beijo. A Maria é do CCAA. Trabalhamos juntas lá.
Ah, ok. Ah, que bom. Yeah. Maria. Okay.
Então, e daí você criava os seus próprios conteúdos. Tem uns vídeos no YouTube, many vídeos.
Sim, no passado sim, mas agora não tenho tempo, então, porque tenho que escrever um livro, né, e ensinar também, né, online, as crianças chinesas, então...
It's iTutor. Are you working for iTutor, yes?
Yes, it's like tutoring, yeah, like online. But it's, everything takes time, and, even creating videos, something for Grammardon, and, it's not, one video is only like 2 minutes long, but, it takes you 2 or 3 hours to actually, complete it, yeah, to edit it and everything. So it's time consuming, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Eder.
Yes.
He's saying we have to promote it more. Yes, we will. Definitely.
Yes.
Please share, give your like, and follow us. Dan, thank you very much. See you soon.
Thank you so much, see you soon. Take care, guys.
Boa noite, pessoal. Te amo,
Boa
Brasil.
Noite.
Bye, bye.
Ciao.